Fear of the unknown. Fear about your job. Fear about your loved ones. Fear about your finances, and we could go on and on and on. I knew this was it. I just couldn't do this anymore. The world had been attacked by some virus worse than the Spanish flu, and not warning, not a clue what to do. Raise your hand if you found yourself feeling vulnerable, disabled by the virus, loss of independence. Hello everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you could make it here to this place today. Making the decision to put you first. The world hijacked overnight. My name's Jacquie Burgwin-Turner and I'm 57 years old. I'm an eclectic therapist, a public speaker, and I enhance people's consciousness, transforming their lives from pain to pleasure. I have 7 amazing children and I've fostered many more, with over 33 years experience as a mental health professional in the NHS and the adult social care. I've been blessed to work in a variety of fields like the forensic, mental health, psychiatric hospitals, the learning disability complex care as a clinical social worker, the adults and children medium, low and high secure units, the criminal justice system as a youth court officer in the magistrates and the Crown Courts, a restorative justice social worker. I was even a social worker for young offenders in Starkey Prison Institute children 10 to 17. I've worked with the adults and the mentally impaired and men and women fleeing domestic violence that allowed me to deal with impulsive situations, developing my valuable unique coping skills, using a person-centered approach that allowed me to enhance my emotional intelligence skills. I was building resilience, the ability to face your fears by embracing difficult situations on a daily basis. Did you know every decision we make is determined by an emotion? Did you know emotional health is the key to unlocking emotional, mental health and well-being? Imagine you woke up, the whole world's hijacked overnight. A lot of people just like me found themselves that day faced with the same, fearing what tomorrow brings. Your colour, your class of status. Today, we all woke up the same in fear, trapped in a place where we didn't want to be. Raise your hand if you found yourself feeling vulnerable, disabled by the virus, loss of independence. So many questions we left asking ourselves. It's truly not a nice place to find yourself to be. But after over a year of public health actions, such as social distancing, wearing masks, people have experienced emotions they've never noticed before. In fact, feelings they've probably avoided or repressed for many years. COVID-19 brought to the fore. The whole world has experienced a tsunami impacting on our lives. The global spread of the coronavirus, devastating impact on the human mind. Ask yourself, have stress, depression and anxiety become the new norm? Or are we just trapped in a place where we don't want to be? Now, we've had our release date, the lockdown's lifted, the vaccines are out. Raise your hand if you've not been forced to make changes in your life, or recognise changes that need to be made in your life, but you haven't got a clue how. A survey by the NHS Social Care with 996 staff, 75% employed by the NHS. 50% of staff felt their mental health had declined during the first 2 months. It even happened to me. I woke up and my emotions were changing more frequent than the weather. The words were echoing, bouncing round my head like a ping pong ball, and I hadn't even got out of my bed. Dreading connecting to the floor. I remember feeling so low. knew I couldn't do this anymore. My fragmented mind scattered like bark all over the ground. I started using music to block out the sound. I knew the world was never going to be the same again. And I knew fear had come knocking on my door. With my gut feeling like lead, I knew this was it. I just couldn't do this anymore. The world had been tapped by some virus worse than the Spanish flu, and not warning, not a clue what to do. Raise your hand if you've met worry. Fear of the unknown. Fear about your job. Fear about your loved ones. Fear about your finances, and we could go on and on and on. The first influenza pandemic of the 21st century occurred in 2009 to 10, killing 100,000 to 400,000 in the first year alone. And here I was, successful entrepreneur, career woman, parent, manager, found myself in some midlife crisis, struggling with midlife changes affecting my mental health for over a decade. Today, you woke up in fear just like me, anxious, overwhelmed, confused about life. You see, before I was this person, before I was this successful Jacquie Burgwin-Turner, public speaker, life coach, therapist, CEO, entrepreneur, before that, I was Jacquie. I was just me. It's mad. It's mad. I didn't even see it coming. It was like a snake depression that sneaked up on me until it wrapped itself all around me. One day, my life was fine. The next, I was sadness. The best way I can explain it was my life was like camouflage. I was living this double life. It had become my identical twin. And then every day it just became the same, dreary. And I just remember saying, oh, don't worry about it, it's just another bad day. But this Monday was different. Today was different. As I opened my eyes, I just knew I wound up, I just wanted to cry. Feeling a sense of dread, fearing the worst. I was forced to get up and go out to work. I remember arriving at work as I stood behind the wall. Taking a deep breath, so scared my colleagues would notice the anxiousness in me. Fearing they would stare and notice and see the worry on my face. I tried to slip into the office. As I entered, it was like, they'd kidnapped me. Taking a deep breath, I stood back. I put my bag on the floor. I looked up. Morning. Jacquie, I have a tribunal. Jacquie, I've got a safeguarding. Jacquie, I've got a meeting. I need you just before going. Jacquie. I turned around, I looked in the office mirror. I went, Jacquie, who the hell is she? In my head, saying nothing. I walked out and entered the toilet, and I shut that door. That was it. As I hit the floor, I found myself broken. This was me, rocking backwards and forwards, crying. I just knew I couldn't do this anymore. Getting up, I pulled my back and I walked back in the office. I got my bag and I walked out that door. That was it. I didn't work no more for 6 months. I drove around and around, lying to my family and friends about work, playing music in my car to stop the negative words echoing in my head, watching my whole life floating away like lava from a volcano, not knowing where it was heading or where it was going to end. That was it. My emotions had got the best of me. It was now destroying me. Destroying my life, destroying me. I remember thinking the monetary loss The non-monetary value was worse. My job, my family, the financial impact on my relationship, the ability to make good and positive decisions. I lost my self-worth. My physical health deteriorated. It took over 3 years of travelling the UK, accessing events, searching groups, paying counsellors, attending occupational therapy appointments. And I still did not fix me. Then I used all my years of knowledge and experience and gathered it together using a combination of therapy techniques, psychology therapy. I created my own clip source. Using therapy, music, meditation and spirituality, sticking with God was what transformed me, allowing me to break free. Faith. Here we are, battling with the after effects and the scars. Faced with changes, feeling stressed, overwhelmed and anxious. Making major decisions that are affecting our jobs, our family and finances and our lives. All impacting on our mental health. Not even the wealthiest in the world can pay to avoid experiencing this change. The BMA survey across the UK in May 2020 did a survey with GPs, and guess what? They found 45% of doctors experienced depression, anxiety, stress, talked about burnouts and other mental health illnesses. But the good news is, you're in the right place. Yes, you're here. I created an 8-week clip program that changes lives, inspires people to take action. Clip. It inspired me to commit and take the actions that I need to improve my life. This bespoke eclectic approach is a combination of psychotherapy modules and positive psychology, mindfulness, uniquely created just for you. And just like me, you drastically can change your life. You see, before I regained control of my life, I was that Jacquie who had to turn her crawl into a stand into a walk into a sprint, and a sprint into a jump. The girl that for over a decade was lost in that tunnel, searching, not knowing whether she was going to be hit by a train or blinded by the light. But to learn to love herself and embrace this new life, I had to accept to commit to the actions to improve my life. That's when it came to me. Wow! We can turn our misfortune into our fortune. After searching for a lifetime, floating out to sea, waiting for the water to jump in and drown me, now I'd created this 8-week clip method that had changed my life. Oh yes, I was the first person, the candidate on my 8-week clip program. But after accessing my clip program, my clients told me how it drastically changed their lives. We're faced with unprecedented times, left in fearful, overwhelmed, anxious, all after this lockdown. But the question is, how many of you want to leave that place? Or are even ready to face your fear to come out that place? Ready to embrace change? You see, as a result of what we at Aubrey's Angels do for women and men who are struggling with the midlife crises and emotions and change, unable to understand and manage their emotions and their lives today, 81% said we improved their physical, mental health and well-being. They learned to love themselves, became thinkers and feelers, emotionally connected to their life at the present time, rediscovered new meaning and purpose, accepting and committing to the change, developed self-awareness, increased self-esteem, discovered who they are, got a positive mindset, regained control and direction of their mind, breaking free from the chains that had held them down. Oh yes, and then they were oozing with confidence, regaining power and control. Yes, and back in the swing of things again on that journey, creating the best expression of themselves. becoming the champions in their life. So I'm looking for individuals who in drastically transforming their life, developing a new meaning and purpose in life, want to rediscover who they are. They want to increase their self-esteem and self-awareness and are ready to gain power and control over their life. And they're willing to do it with courage and conviction to take the changes needed that they have to make. This will create the highest expression of themselves, getting them ready to become the champion in their life. Turn your fear into fuel. Regain control over your life. Don't go with the flow and end up where you don't want to go. You've been given an opportunity today. Embrace change and grow, grow, grow.